So just want to, as before we start, just thank Anne for coming to spend some time with us this afternoon. Our inaugural session in the masterclass series under the theme of Dare to Dream. So
we're on camera as well.
We are on
this
camera.
Could go anywhere. Okay.
This could go anywhere.
Right,
could go absolutely anywhere.
Be careful now. Hello. Right. Yeah.
Sorry, don't start making me laugh.
I know Sheila, she's a friend of mine. So
yeah, so we could end up having
I could say something inappropriate. I think we're just talking to each other. But
exactly.
I won't. I'm going to try.
We will be
very
here.
Yes. Legal are here.
Well, we do. Yeah, we've HR people here and we've got legal people here. Actually, they'll put manners on the two of us.
Okay, good.
So and just to help us to get for the audience to actually get to know you a little bit better. When you were young, what did you dream of becoming? Was there anything you particularly interested in that?
Yeah, I wish I had the great story. Do you know that I was really, studied really hard and I wanted to be something and I studied and I did it and I got it. It wasn't like that. Honestly, I was kind of clueless as a teenager. It's probably a bit different now. The Leaving Cert is very serious and it's very stressful for kids, and I know that. But my mum had said I was kind of going to be a nurse. So I kind of said, yeah, sure, we'll go with that. And I enjoyed school. I did study the science subjects. I was quite outgoing. I did a lot of theatre and dance and drama, and I was a competitive swimmer. It was probably my thing. Didn't seem to be too good at the old ball sports. And then the day before, I was meant to be going for the interview for the Bonds Secure Hospital in Cork. I said to my mother, I don't want to be a nurse. I don't even like sick people. Do you know what I mean? I'm one of these people, I can't walk. You can. Get up and walk. Do you know what I mean? No, I actually can't. So it just wouldn't have been very good. And, at that time, there was a lot of bed making and everything. Do you remember the nurses? I'm not good at housekeeping either. So, my mother was she was a bit despondent.
Oh, absolutely. What am I going to do with her?
Exactly. So I went off to a place called Skerries College. It was the upmarket secretarial college. Exclusive. Kind of like a finishing school. And I learned to type brilliantly, and I still am the best typist. And really impress people like a CEO, taking minutes, and they're like, how'd you learn that? So I went and did that, and the lady that headed up the school, it's now Griffith College, she said, there's something about you, I don't know what it was, but anyway, and in those days, they put you forward for an interview in Nixdorf Computer, and someone said, don't mention them, man, because it makes you sound ancient, and then it became Nixdorf Siemens. They were looking for kind of an administrator, and 3 girls were put forward. It wasn't very kind of fair or equality, and you had your father's employment. I always remember that, what your dad did on the CV. I mean, really, when you think, desperate, right? But I got the job, and that really was brilliant because I got into a big company and they invested in me, and I studied marketing by night, and then I went into kind of telesales, and then I joined Western Digital, which was Dovatron. Kind of, they manufacture lines and circuit boards, and I used to take a lot of the orders from all over the world. And then I went to London and I worked in Reuters in marketing in London for a few years. And then I came back and I worked in the Google of its time, as I call it, the Golden Pages, where everyone went. And I travelled the country meeting all these business people, convincing them that if they weren't in the Golden Pages, they were finished, which they kind of were, because there was nowhere else to look. And then I got approached for ESAT Telecom, which was taking on Aircom at the time on fixed telephony, and that was about 22 years ago. And that's how I got into kind of engineering-led and more technical. And then I joined Vodafone 10 or 11 years ago now, it was ESAT, and then it was bought by British Telecom, went up to Dublin for a year, 17 years ago, and I'm still there. And I worked with you in British Telecom then. I ran North and South and sales and marketing. And then Vodafone approached me because they were a mobile-only company and they wanted to understand fixed line. And I came in as business B2B director there for 5 years. And then I was made CEO 6 years ago. So no, I can't really say that I said, I am going to be the CEO and take over the world. But what I did, I was one of these people that was just delighted with any job I got. Do you know, one of these ones? And you were like, thank you for hiring me. And I worked really hard and I really wanted to perform and deliver in every job. And I was so grateful. So I often worked late, I worked long hours. I loved working. And my mother was always the one, go out and get a job and be independent. And I've always been very independent. I wanted to buy my own house and buy my own things. So I had some friends and they'd go, well, find a man and he'll look after me. Fine, right? I was like, no, I look after myself. I want to never ask people for money. So it kind of drove something in me. And it's great. It's been good. I can buy whatever I want, girls. No one says anything about having too many shoes.
Absolutely. And Anne has a very enviable shoe collection.
No, one pink. Yeah. No. So yeah, that's probably.
What have been your biggest influences on? What have been the biggest influences on you in terms of how you lead Vodafone?
How I lead Vodafone? Well, I suppose if I'm very honest, as a manager or a people manager, you develop and learn over time. And I probably wasn't very good when I first. I mean, I was about 28 when I first became a manager, probably quite young, and given a lot of responsibility in ESAT Telecom. I ran the Cork office, and then I ran all the regional locations outside of Dublin. And I'd say I was very bossy, and a bit of a dictator, and you learn as you do courses, and everyone gives you 360 feedback, which is horrendous, and you learn the truth about yourself and what people really think and what really works. And I suppose I've become more of a leader in terms of trying to create followerships and create vision for people, and create loyalty and trust, and really let it up to the people to really deliver. So empower people, coach people. So I think, I have had I suppose I've had a lot of different managers as well over the time. And again, I think I have a different way people would say. So if I get a new manager, like in Vodafone, I've had 5 different managers in 5 years. It's kind of exhausting, right? Because it's a group kind of infrastructure and they keep reorganizing and do whatever. But my view, even over the years, was like, if you're my manager, I'm going to say, to become my manager, you must be fairly good at something, I hope. And what can I learn from you? What got you there? So I was always learning and asking questions and trying to find out what got them there. And different people have different strengths. And I've tried to, adapt my style. And I suppose you get a bit more confident. I think when I hit 40, I kind of woke up one day and said, yeah, you're kind of good at your job, all right, Anne. You are good. Give yourself a break. Kind of stop trying to prove yourself and try